And Snerdley has found, if you look at it that way, look, I know what's really going on here, folks. I know why Obama did this, especially now the ghost is given up with the news that Fidel might, in fact, come and visit Washington, as Josh Earnest said. It is clear what has really happened here. Obama has relaxed and lifted all of these economic sanctions so he can legally import the secrets of the Cuban healthcare system and implement them into Obamacare and finally fix it. Now, nobody else will have the guts to tell you that. But that is probably what this is really all about. However, we have to, Obamacare is an absolute abomination. It is an absolute mess. Cuba has the best healthcare system, fairest healthcare system, the freest and the cheapest healthcare system in the world. But how do you use it with the embargo in place? How in the world can you import any aspect of it with an embargo? You got to lift the embargo, you got to normalize trade relations, and that. Who knows? Raul or Fidel might actually, when they come to Washington, deliver the first operations manual on how to do a correct national health care system. Here's Yaret in Atlanta. You're next on the Rush Limbaugh program. Hello.
Hi, Rush. Thank you for having me in your program. I wanted to make a comment about Obama's weak international policy.
Yes.
And actually, focusing what's going on with Cuba. He's done this in Afghanistan, in Iraq, shown a lot of weakness in this government. I'm a proud American. I'm also from Venezuela. And I'm suffering all the things that the Cuban government is doing in Venezuela because they're in there. It's a narco-terroristic country. It should be in high alert because they do harbor terrorism. That's what is happening in Venezuela. And I think Obama is going to do this. And what is he going to get in return? The people in Cuba are going to still living in the same conditions they've been living with or without the sanctions. Because before the perestroika, when they had even more money, the Cubans didn't get any of the goods or anything from the country. And it's going to continue to do that. And I want to also make a call to everybody to Google Leopoldo Lopez, which is a political prisoner of Venezuela that is incarcerated there. And the government has ignored the UN decree to free them. And it's all the Cubans are in Venezuela. Venezuela is out of money. And right now is the timing for Cuba to come into negotiations with the United States. All right,
wait. I lost you somewhere along the line. I want to make sure I understand your point. You think that lifting the embargo is empowering Cuba to remain
yes, they're not going to.
Well, you're narco-terrorist, but in other words, you think it's a mistake?
Completely, because they're not going to change the ways. Venezuela has been basically feeding Cuba.
Wait a minute. Why wouldn't it? Don't you understand? Yeah, Reed, don't you understand? The whole point, lifting the embargo, people are filled with hope that this will turn the Castros into nice people.
It will not. They're assassins, and so was
and you want to deny people hope? That's what Obama's all about, hope and change. And here is a policy lifting these sanctions is designed to give the Cuban people hope and to give us hope that the Cuban people's hope will be elevated and that they will be freed. And you're coming along and throwing cold water on it like the ice bucket challenge and saying the hope is pointless.
It is pointless. It is pointless. And he keeps weakening this. I mean, I'm a Reagan woman. I grew up basically in this country. I'm very sad that the way this country is going is very much similar to things that are happening in Venezuela.
You and me
with
both.
the health care, with the foreign policy. The backyard is right here. It's Latin America.
And thank you for the call. I've got to go to get time. There's the ear-splitting tone. We will be back. By the way, folks, tracing back to the opening moments of today's program when I made the statement, liberalism is a gutless choice that's one of the easiest things in the world to do is be a liberal. You don't really have to do anything. You know a great way to illustrate that? In fact, maybe even a better way of characterizing it would be to actually describe how the naive are reacting to the change in our Cuban policy. And it is naive hope. Naive hope, I think, is a central, fundamental, even a foundational element of liberalism among the great unwashed. Not the liberal leaders. They're clearly aware of the scam they're running, in addition to being true believers. But your average, ordinary, I'm a good person, college student or employee somewhere, the average person running around. Okay, so for 53 years we've had these horrible economic sanctions of poor Cuban people, and we're going to try something new, and we're going to raise these sanctions and lift the embargo, and they're going to see the wonderful, beautiful ways America functions. They're going to be so moved by it, they're going to force change. That is a naive hope. And I think people vote their naive hope. I don't mean hope in the religious sense. And I get caught in this every time I start talking about hope. If I'm perceived to be criticizing it, I hear from the devout who claim that I am messing with people's minds. And I'm not dealing with biblical hope in any way. I'm talking about the frail human emotion. Naive hope substitutes for what is thought to be reasoned compassion. Neville Chamberlain epitomizes naive hope. Neville Chamberlain traveled to Germany to meet with Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler told Neville Chamberlain, "You can assure Churchill and the rest of your people that I have no designs on any other country. I'm a nice guy. I just want the best for the German people. We're all sick and tired of having to take a wheelbarrow full of marks to buy a loaf of bread at the store. I'm just trying to fix my country." And Neville Chamberlain, "Will you sign something that says that?" And Hitler says, "Absolutely, Sir Chamberlain. Give me the paper." Hitler signs it, and Neville Chamberlain returns to Great Britain waving the paper. "See, we have nothing to fear. He's actually a nice guy. You know, he even offered me some schnapps. He was such a cool guy." And then within days, Hitler's in Poland. And Neville Chamberlain is left to naive hope. I think that constitutes 80% of the Democrat Party voting base, actually. Naive hope that what Obama says is going to happen. Naive hope that my premium is going to come down 25. Naive hope that I keep my doctor. You believe the lies. And what enables you to believe the lies is your naive hope that it can happen. And in this case, well, we love the Cuban people because we're good people. And because we're good people means we love other people. And they're suffering. And maybe we can help. And so we're going to lift our embargo, and we hope that that will really make things better for them. And then we can take credit for it because we made it happen. Naive hope. Naive hope is one of the greatest enemies of common sense because it's easy. You can have an IQ of a pencil eraser and be excellent at naive hope. You can be the class dunce and succeed as well as anybody else in the category of naive hope. And I think this naive hope that is cultivated by Democrat Party politicians and so forth is one of many things that presents our country with great problems. Sad thing is, did anybody learn from Chamberlain? No, that was still considered a one-off. Still considered a one-off. Isolated incident. There was no lesson learned that bad guys lie, evil people lie, and will take advantage of you and use you and kill you if they have to get you out of the way. No, it was a one-off. Hitler does not represent anybody else bad guys. Hitler was a one-off. So the lesson's never even learned. Because naive hope triumphs over the lesson. Well, we hope the next bad guy will be different. And we hope. And I frankly, that's one of the biggest challenges that those of us with common sense have, is communicating with those people. How do you permeate naive hope? Because anything that shatters their naive hope, threatening, frightening, and you become a threat and maybe even a bad guy, mean or whatever. And the way the left operates today, do you know what constitutes harassment now in the left? Is simply disagreeing with them. All you have to do is disagree with the left, and you're harassing them. You can't interrupt their hope. Oh, no. You shatter their world when you permeate their hope and point out that it's really nothing more than naivete.